Hi there, Gina Libido here, Soul Inspired Reflections. It has been a while. Today, um, it's been a while since I've joined you here in this beautiful platform of YouTube. Today is March 19th. For some reason, I almost said September, but maybe some of this as we lead into the Equinox Energies tomorrow, or we're already in them and we're in between eclipses. And we've also entered into a new cycle of our ascension process and integration and awakening and release, right? With every cycle, there's also a release or an alchemy. I would say that would be more appropriate word, an alchemy. And I was recently reminded as we're going through these phases, um, that sometimes we just need to support each other and support ourselves in some way. So, to those of you new to my channel, that's my main goal here is to support you stay grounded, integrated, and within your wholeness in your unique process of ascension as it presents itself to you and through you in and under the law of one and unity consciousness and oneness with the whole of life and each other as we are all weaving and spiraling into this ascended and transcended states within the self, supporting the awakening and ascension of the planet as she awakens. We too awaken and can be more with ease and grace with the process of this organic awakening and evolution. That's not to be said you won't feel discomfort or things of that nature. However, you being the powerful being that you are, can recognize and continue to develop your skills that, okay, something here is occurring. I'm going to be one in stillness, to feel. Number two, in your breath, to breathe in and out the energies of our Mother, Father, God, and our Christ consciousness, our avatar self. You are not separate from these energies. You come from a divine place of source and light. And as we are breathing in together and exhaling together, remind yourself to be grounded and be in your sovereignty. You are God, sovereign and free. Visualize your own pillar of light around you because you are an aspect of source light, as am I. And that we remain in our sovereignty as we here connect with an open heart. But we are connected and divinely connected through source and through oneness, right? So your energy remains yours, mine remains mine, while we are all learning on different levels to discern energy and recognize what's occurring within our body of light and moving through this Christic timeline of ascension. And it's a really beautiful and powerful place and path to be on. As some of you may recognize, your soul is called to be here right now. And I, like you, am expanding as well and feel also the inner contractions. And some of you may feeling, I just want to give up. I just want to stop. I just want to throw in the towel. And uh, that's okay to feel that way. It's okay. And I'd like to remind you that you are not alone in this process. In you, me, and the whole of humanity, even those that are on a different level of awakening that may not be aware of any of this on some level, their soul and presence knows. And in their unique time, they will go through this same process. And it'll look different for them as it does for you. And I'm here to remind you, you're okay. You're fully supported. I'm okay. I'm fully supported. And what's occurring is a very deep alchemy on a cellular level, as well as the quantum. And what I mean by quantum, all these aspects of our self in every timeline, parallel universe, known and unknown to you, through your soul, is being called and brought to the surface to be alchemized through our water, through the body of water, through the mother arc, the aquamarine ray. And yes, the Father ray also comes in, and the magenta and the purity ray, and all these beautiful rainbow colors of light that I feel each and every one, and not even feel, I know deep down, each and every one of us have access to these frequencies and vibrations, and allow them to synthesize and work together in a synergistic way, that you work with and in the flow with source and the divinity within you, as through the breath and through this alchemical process, you are harmonizing, integrating what some can refer to as your gender thin, um, your gender principles, male, masculine, feminine, divine masculine self within the body. You're harmonizing those aspects and raising your ability into a higher state of being and to a higher octave, and even integrating into whole spheres. I was listening to a meditation today, and it's like you're tuning the strings to the higher octave of 12. So you go through the stargates, as some refer to it, through your tree of life is a pattern that you move into the 3, 6, 9, 12 timeline and evolution, your Christic timeline, and spiral into your avatar self. You're ascending within your own energetics of the tree of life. Now, I pulled some cards offline yesterday as I was going through a very deep alchemy process, where I reached out to a friend of mine where I'm like, it's so complex, and I know I can reach out to you because she has a deep understanding of what is occurring on levels that our consciousness, our mind can't wrap fully around. And maybe for some of you, on some level, you're at a place where you do have an understanding of, yes, a knowing that, okay, I know this is part of the process. Can I put it to words? Maybe not. Maybe you can, right? But it's through this alchemy, through the body, through movement, through breath, through nature connection, that supports the alchemical process, the cellular I get purification of the body, but also the memory of the soul, the patterns and imprints. And what I loved and recognized as I was in reflection today, moving away from the term, because through our voice has vibration and power and frequency, and so do words. And so through the more we use something, the more oscillation, the more frequent we use something, it gives it more power and energy. And the way we use our voice and word and thoughts also will influence our reality in the holographic reality that you create in your life and that I create. And then I remember to go back into, okay, this higher timeline, for lack of a term, this way of being within myself and within humanity and community. What do I, my higher self, in this moment, how show me how to show up? Let me feel it. Give me the words to come out. And what I recognize, she never used the word wound. And I love that. And I really feel just like I feel about the word trauma, to move away from those terms, because we tend to hold on to these terms as a crutch, and it can anchor and limit your own ascension. It gives a contraction or a hook within you. So when you can feel more free and liberated by just changing a word, and through the breath and the power of God that is you, that lives within you, and the light of the mother and the father energy that lives within you, and go, oh, you know what? What's perhaps a lighter vibration and higher frequency? Meaning it's not as dense, it has more fluidity to move through me. And that was pattern, right? So many of us are recognizing, oh, our cells are patterns. They're patterns of memory that run through our circuitry, that run through our subconscious layers, and from which we operate in the world. Some of us become aware. We want to bring the subconscious to the conscious as consciousness awakens within you on a cellular and DNA level. So some of you during this, we're in between eclipses and equinox energies, and we're coming into this next phase, or are in this phase, next phase of ascension and awakening. Some of you may be feeling so much emotion right now that you're like, I don't know what to do with it. And you may not even recognize it, or you do. It's okay. Or you can see it in others. And then as you are raising in your light frequency and way of being and recognizing the unity and oneness with all, everything in your life has a purpose to usher you into a higher version of yourself. The person you knew yesterday, 2 days ago, 10 minutes ago is no longer you. We together, individually and collectively, are stepping further into our higher self and merger of our masculine and feminine energies in our avatar monadic self, our higher self. And then that creates an expansion of your heart and your trifold flame of love, wisdom, power. These also hold your masculine and feminine energies. Those of you that like to work with color, aquamarine, that mother energy, that even that Mary energy, bathe in those waters, visualize those waters. We want to raise that, expanding that portal, that sphere of light of the heart energy. And just breathe. Right. So the cards I pulled, hopefully I'm not jumping around too much for you. But I want to remind you first to nurture yourself in whatever way that may look like. What supports and is alchemy are doing things very simply that you may not even be aware of, and it supports the integration of that alchemy, because with alchemy there's a release and coming into, right? There's a give and release, an out breath and in breath, and being connected to nature and going on nature walks. Like for me, I love being near the ocean, but I also will walk the forest, or I go on walks through my neighborhood with the dog at different times of day, because different times of day offer me something differently. I feel different at night versus the morning versus the afternoon. I look up at the sky at night. I look at the clouds in the day. I hear different birds, right? It brings another deeper connection with the life around me that is, I feel it and see it acknowledge me just as much as I acknowledge it, as well as those around me that are truly suffering and in their own soup, if you will, of discord, because they're resisting, or they may not even be aware of the resistance within them to their self, to their higher self and awakening. So what happens is that my dear friend reminded me of that as all of us hold more light, we may experience all of a sudden finger pointing at us, blame toward us, a lot more conflict with other people that are not at that same level of frequency at this time, holding denser energies within themselves. And she reminded me what's happening is that as mirrors, because we all have mirrors for and each other, but as we're holding higher light, which makes sense to me as I work with my pillar of light, my 12D shielding, my crystallic breastplate and diamond heart, right? It's very reflective and full of color. And some of those reflective and protective energies are that platinum and silver. And that's highly reflective. I'm also thinking of mica in rocks. It's highly reflective. So when you're in your armor of God, so to speak, it's gonna they're only going to reflect back at them their own stuff. And then that gets projected potentially to out to others, to you, to their families or what have you. You may have even done it yourself. We all have, right? We're not There's truly no two sides to the coin, right? It's just the coin. It's just the energy. It's just part of the process. So here I am to encourage you to take care of yourself. And number one was the nature connection. And maybe for you, I mean, it's cooking that becomes highly meditative, or maybe it's art or writing. So there's no wrong way for you to alchemize your experiences. And there's no right way either. There's just the way that you feel the flow of light and energy and creation come through you, and creative energy come through you. Your light come through you. Breathing, number two. And these are not in any particular order because you do them, I feel, together. When I go out in nature, I do spend time just breathing and deeply breathing and really connecting to my light body and allowing it to be fully immersed. Right? I become part of the landscape just as the landscape is part of me. It's flow, it's water. That's what water is everything. It's in everything. It's in the air you breathe on some levels. It's in the tree, it's in the wood, it's even in the fire. Because we are working with our water, our fiery water, our flames. And the third was to be in stillness, to allow yourself to feel. Because for some of us, we can feel anxious and wanting to do. Instead of doing, feeling like you have to do anything with anything you're feeling or anything in front of you, give it a very healthy, pregnant pause. There is so much power in the pause, and to be in the stillness of your body, to be in the stillness of the energies around you that are moving in so many different ways because they're waves of energy. Thinking of it as a pond, right? Or even deep ocean of water. There's different things happening at each level of the waters. You have the top superficial layer, you have the middle layer, and then you have the depth. The depth where maybe you don't even see the floor of the pond or lake or ocean. You have no idea where it is. You're there, immersed, suspended in this liminal space and these layers. Because there's also layers within these triunic layers, right? Within these three layers of the superficial top layers, the middle layer, and the deep layer. There's space in between all of those and space between the space. So when you drop into your stillness and your breath work, you can be within all this spectrum of energies and light and frequency to re-establish your sense of self, presence, your own baseline, the breath assistant integration, the movement of the body assistant integration, the expression of emotions like tears, running activity, right? Sometimes I'll go chop wood or do yard work if I have a lot of anger. I move that out of the body through physical activity, but I can also be still as well. And it brings into a meditative state. So when you're breathing and in the stillness and feeling the superficial layers and going down into the middle layer of yourself, of your being, of your 0 point in the depths of these waves and frequencies, I'm reminded to look at this jumping in piece, but first the cosmic heart. The cosmic heart. And this is from the deck by Rebecca Campbell, Starseed Oracle deck. And we have the breath, the cosmic breath. This is what's happening right now, this cosmic breath. And jumping in This is all a celestial jump in. And so and that's Andromedan energy. Okay. Those of you that are on a path of bringing in the Christed energy, the crystal Sophia energy, the masculine and feminine, and on that path, which I feel it does, that's, I'll pause there. We're bringing that requires another level of connection with our Andromeda, with that energy of Andromeda and that Stargate. I believe it's the ninth Stargate. That's the evolution, the 3, 6, 9, 12, the Christic, the spiral, that other spiral. And it supports your ascension and freedom. You are God, sovereign, and free energies in that. And you're jumping in. So many of us are jumping in. And sometimes, right, if you're on a high diving board, those of you that remember jumping off the high dive, or even just jumping into water as a kid, some people are free and just leap with full trust. Others get to the end and they're like, ooh, I don't know. And they pause and the fear sets in, or a sense of like, I don't know, question and doubt. That's okay to feel that. But remember, you're fully supported. And it's time to continue to jump into these waters of yourself, of your divinity, of the cosmos. More will begin to open up for you as you're also expanding the heart, your direct connection and grounded state of being, your third eye center, and all the components of your third eye and higher chakras, and the energetic, the metamorphogenic chakras, the etheric energies are coming in. Your axial tonal lines, think of them as almost meridian channels through your body, are being recalibrated, restrung, if you will, into the higher octave and whole octave of the 12th dimension or frequency, your avatar self. So keep breathing in that cosmos that you are connected to. So the jumping in is also change. We're going through another change, as I mentioned before. Another ascension cycle, which fosters change within you, within the planet, and within everything. And to stay on your golden line through the breath and these other practices I mentioned. Okay. Remember, being here can be a glorious adventure as well as a mysterious one. So remember to smile, play, and have fun in this experience as best you can, even when you're feeling the depth of the emotions and experiences that can just be like, I don't know what's happening. Okay. And yet you do know what's happening. Awakening and ascension is happening. And a deep cellular purification and alchemy is happening. That comes from so much experience in the soul's life and universal life, the things that are unknown to us collectively and individually, just allow it to alchemize into its highest form of light. We're alchemizing this energy. We're transforming this energy. As you are the conduit, we need the body in order to do this. So part of this ascension is mastering your emotional body and the mental body through use of mastering also the physical. Because you are a conduit. You are a conduit. I am a conduit of light. We all come from light and the same source. And now we are all returning to its harmonious state in the best way possible for each other and for yourself. And call in your support of your I am self, your higher self, the angelic realm. Call in through your heart that you can find ease and grace for yourself and others, and love and forgiveness in this process. Because those that are holding the denser energies, as you were once that as well, they're unaware of what they're even doing. They're unaware at this time. right? Yet it still has a very powerful opportunity for you, for me, to go through an alchemical process of purification and to ascend and transcend these experiences. So the breath of the cosmos is my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. We're going to have to read that because the micromanaging is very interesting, because I start thinking about what happens when you try to micromanage your life or other people. The word control, like over controlling nature, can potentially come in, right? Or is there? And it can create an atmosphere of limitation. It comes from a place of fear when we control others or attempt to control others. It's a I'll say, qualification of your energy and use of energy when you're out of balance in some way. You're out of harmony when trying to control others and dictate others to serve your own needs and well-being. So for those of you that are able to recognize, oh, wait, I'm trying to control these situations and outcomes, and I still work with this. I still get stuck in the superficial layer while recognizing, oh, wait, there's something deep here happening. And then I have to really come back and be reflective and go, how do I navigate what's in front of me in this world with what's available and what's available within me, right? So they're still navigating those things. Because what happens when we try to control or be controlled by others, you can feel very restrictive, very limiting, and it typically stems from a deeper fear of the unknown or past experiences in some way. And you don't have to analyze it. Just recognize, oh, wait, what I'm recognizing, I'm trying to micromanage everything. You cannot micromanage this process of ascension. And perhaps even micro is like bringing it back to even a microscope. I'm also like searing my mic, and then I just went down like this as if I'm looking into the microscope and this cosmic eye in the background. How am I jumping into this cosmic eye, right? In this really this sense of controlled chaos of the divine feminine coming through. It's already in order. So that's another piece coming through, this sense of micromanaging this cosmos that it can appear chaotic as we're going through this our planetary ascension, our this crumbling of the construct we've all are been working getting out of and moving into our Christic self, our avatar self. It's already a divine order that because we don't have a remembrance per se, many of us to recognize, oh, this is I don't have to try to control anything at all. It's already in its divine order and in motion because we were working with the law of vibration and the law of harmonics, that it's all in motion already in this vibratory state, right? So within you, you're feeling this vibration of energy running through you, seeking, I'll say, for lack of a better term, seeking harmony within the self of the body, within your soul, within your presence. And it's almost seeking might not be even the right word, because that it's just paving the path like water in grooves of the earth. It paves the path, and then more water comes, and then more water comes, and then more water comes until you have a full flowing energy running through you evenly with breath, right? We come back to the breath of the cosmos. It's both in and out. It expands and expands and expands, and it's very grounded and spacious, and this expansion of your God, sovereign and free self. Like, even go ahead and open your arms, open your heart, lift your head and chest to life. feel how that feels in your body to be in the cosmos at the end of that diving board and you're leaping into the eye of God, to the next phase of yourself, the next version of yourself that exists right now. That exists right now. So breathe it in and out as you're expanding your cosmic heart that comes in, through, and around you. And today was one of the first days I actually felt Mother Mary's energy come in. And it was this Mother Arc energy because it's the current coming through, right? Anchoring through the 13th gateway, coming through, and it came around my head. It's that figure 8, and it came around, and I felt the energy through the back, and I felt the figure 8 of then the masculine energy also oscillating in and out, and it came in through the head, the higher heart, the 8th and the 9th and the 10th chakras. Right? It reminds me of that mother, the Ankh in Egyptian symbolism. But the current of energy that we're breathing in and out is this higher, it's our natural state of being, and it's within our higher dimensions or chakras or energetic centers. But the higher heart complex is so important for all of us to work with and ground that energy in and to be in it. It's in the thymus, right? It's before, it's above the heart, but in below the throat. And then you have the altar major in the back of the head, right? But some of us that are energetically sensitive, some more than others, you can start to feel that current, the infinity symbol, the infinity, that figure 8 running through and going in and out, in and out. And even as I'm speaking, like we're coming back to that microscope, like when you go in to see all these different particulates, right, in a microscope in the cell, there's so much happening in there. So much happening in this process of the cell, of the cell. This too is like a cell. So just one cell of you has so much richness in the whole story. And then as you expand out, you kind of just see the whole, right? So it's almost like if you went deep into my own eye and then backed out, then you see the physical body. But then if you ever looked deep into your own eye, it takes on a whole different experience. I used to do this as a child, and I'd look and I'd take away, I'd look and I'd watch my eye, my pupil contract and open and contract. And then it stopped even looking like a ball. I could see different grooves of my eye moving and contracting of the pupil, right? Letting light in and letting light out, letting light in and letting light out, right? Because even the microscope, you're darkening it and then you show light so you can see. That's like the still point. You go into the stillness, this void, so you can see more because there's so much happening. And then you ask, show me what I need for the highest good of humanity in this moment. Show me how I can show up. Because when you do it for yourself, you don't have to intervene. You don't have to micromanage anything else, anyone else, or this process. It automatically raises others. Even with that mirroring effect, that can be really, because when vibrations are at different states, it's can be conflicting, right? And then recognizing at a higher vibrational state, you're going to automatically, with your own presence, people on a cellular level are going to feel that. So it's going to literally oscillate them on a cellular level and bring their patterning. I was going to say junk, but their patterning that needs to be seen for themselves and move out, be alchemized into its highest level of light, will be brought to the surface. And so the illusion of conflict and discord happens, right? So that's the depth of these experiences, that so much is happening. And that's just a microscopic window of what is occurring, right? Because remember, you just take one cell, you look into it, and there's so much happening. Like even this card itself, there, look how many stars are in there and all the colors of the cosmos. And really, those are the father, mother, source energies too. In the eye of God, we are always watched over. We're always watched over, right? And you're also, there's multiple levels of the eye of God, right? And then all the, once you get to certain levels within yourself and can hold levels of light, consistently, right? Because these are, those of you follow me on Instagram, it's the activities of creation that the Elohim have given us, right? When you're consistent in that level, then the next level opens up to you. Okay. And then the cosmic heart here again. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So we talked earlier about movement, nature connection. This is part of your devotion. This is what helps the alchemy, supports the alchemy occur and integrate within the body, within the cellular structure, within the awakening of your own DNA and remembrance within yourself. So your way of being a moving prayer may look differently to me, yet it's still the same, right? We don't have to have the same way. We may have some of the same tools, right? But it's going to be expressed differently. Just like if we both learn to paint, we can paint the same picture and it's going to have a different expression because we are uniquely different, yet divinely designed. Divinely designed. There was something. Oh, yes. I'm going to pause and come back just a second. All right. It was the micromanaging the universe card, right? So this is important for me, for you, for all of us. So it's the breath of the cosmos. The message was my will to thy will. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe, right? We're not doing that. So here's the message as a starseed. When we rely on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life, which I believe I kind of mentioned that we're not in the flow, right? Because it's another level. It's reminding us to trust. It's reminding you to trust. Okay. All of us to trust from here, from the cosmic heart, from the cosmic heart. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. This is so perfect. We're not experiencing the breath of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. That's an old way of doing this. We're not on this timeline anymore, those of you on the path. We're on the Christic timeline now. Crystal Sophia. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. And I know I've been having my own experience with this because it can happen. It can circle back again, and then it's like, oh, wait, come back to where my heart is, right? And trust and let go and go into divine will instead of personal will. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life. You are being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life. This message is for you, it's for me, and everyone that perhaps may be feeling this at this time, right? To surrender to the greater will that God has for you. Right? Because as you go through this process, you're surrendering to the source. Okay, source, how am I serving humanity? How am I serving the light? Show me what's next as I surrender to this natural flow of life, of breath. So to move from my will to thy will. Okay. So you're moving from, let me repeat this, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. Right. And I'm hearing some old thing, thy will be done. Thy will be done. Right. I'm not someone that has well versed in the Bible, but some of you may have some references. Feel free to share it. Maybe there's a deeper wisdom in it that we hadn't experienced before. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way. So please use me, please show me the way. Right? And there's a song that you're a vehicle, an instrument. Make me an instrument of your peace. Make me an instrument of your love. Make me an instrument of your forgiveness and grace. You can fill in the blank there, right? Little by little, you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life when you surrender to this in your service to the light. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way you think things should be and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. I'm going to reread that last paragraph. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way you think things should be and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. You begin breathing the breath of life. The breath of the cosmos. Andromeda, right? You're jumping in to your cosmic heart, the Andromedan energy, your avatar energy, your heart. Your divine blueprint is coming in more fully. So the star seed activation here for us in this card, should you wish to receive it, check in with your higher self. You'll get a yes or a no. Everything I say and offer on this channel is only here to support you should you wish it to. You don't have to take it you can take it or leave it, take what you need, leave the rest, come back to it. You may find it supportive in other ways or not. And it's all okay. It's okay. The starseed activation is to place this card over your heart. So I'm going to place it over our hearts, symbolically over my heart, or symbolically over your hearts. And this would be facing toward your chest like this. But I want you to see the imagery. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I'm willing to stop relying on my own strength and personal agenda and instead surrender to the breath of life. Dear God, help me move from the will to thy will. Please lead me. Please show me the way. That is the card. So I hope this supports all of you. Have a really, really blessed day.